welcome back to my channel. If you guys are new here, my name is Nicole and I make bookish content. I have not sat down once again and filmed a video in what feels like a very long time, but I actually have a realistic TBR for once. To make myself, feel a little bit better about accomplishing my TBRs, I decided to keep it pretty simple this month and stick to 10 books instead of like 21 or 22. All of the books that I'm going to be reading are books that I already own. I've actually lately been having a book buying problem and I haven't been able to read books as fast as I'm accumulating them, so I really want to try and read books that I currently have. That being said, a lot of these books that I'm going to be reading are books that were on previous TBRs or are books that I've been dying to read for a really long time now. So without further ado, let's get into it. I will only be participating as of now in one readathon, and that would be the Tarot Readathon, which is hosted by some of my best friends here on BookTube, Jess from Books Past Bedtime, as well as Noelle from Noelle 7 Pages. They are such beautiful people, and you guys definitely need to go check out their channel, but they are hosting this really cool readathon alongside a couple other booktubers, and you use a tarot deck. In my case, I didn't have one, so I used a generated one online. Each tarot card has a prompt, and you can really freely pick to read as many as you want, and so I opted for 6 because once again, I'm trying to work on being more realistic with myself. I'm going to be part of Noelle's team because I liked how one of her requirements for being on her team was not being able to read any new books because I really need to shop my own stash. I will be putting their video announcement in the down description box. You guys should definitely subscribe. They both have wonderful content, so you'll be doing yourself a favor. But let me get into the prompts that I'm participating in and the books that I would like to read for them. The first prompt is read a book where a character learns, aka 8 of Swords, and I will be reading The Mighty Heart of Sunny St. James. I wanted to get to this book this past month, but I've been really overwhelmed, honestly, and I didn't have a chance to get to it. But this is about Sunny St. James, who receives a new heart, and she makes a new bucket list where she wants to do amazing things that she couldn't do before, find a new best friend, and find a boy and kiss him. Her plan is all working out until she meets Quinn, a girl with serious best friend potential, but then it makes her question if she wants to kiss a boy after all. It just seems like a very wholesome read and coming of age story, and I'm really looking forward to reading it. The next prompt is Knight of Wands, read a book with a strong female protagonist, and so for this, I will be reading In the Dream House by Carmen Maria Machado. Okay, so I'm not quite sure too much what this book is about, but I was recommended this and I am reading this for a secret TBR. It's a memoir about a relationship gone bad and a bold dissection of the mechanisms and cultural representations of psychological abuse. And I think it involves like stories and fiction, but in it are her real experiences, and that just sounds like a really thought-provoking and emotional read, so I'm looking forward to reading it. The next prompt that I got was Strength, read a book that features animals in some way, and for this book I'm choosing to read Infinite Country by Patricia, and this is a book that's been on my TBR for a really long time, and the reason why I haven't gotten to it sooner is because I'm actually buddy reading this with my boyfriend's mom, but we just haven't gotten around to it yet, and I really want to wait to when she'll be able to read it. So this book follows the members of one mixed immigration status family as they navigate dreams, distance, and the bonds of love and memory. And I have been wanting to read this for months, so I'm really hoping that I'll finally be able to get to it. I'm excited to read this. The next prompt was Ace of Wands, and it is read a book with a one-word title, and for that I am reading Day Tripper, which is a graphic novel. It is also part of a secret TBR, and I'm really looking forward to reading it, but it's a very thought-provoking, emotional roller coaster of a graphic novel about a man and his life. I started reading it for a couple pages, but I decided to put it down and pick it up again when I had more time and energy to really commit. So I am really looking forward to talking about that book with you guys. The next prompt is 3 of Swords, read a nonfiction book, and for this I chose to read In Order to Live by Yeonmi Park. This is actually also for a secret TBR, but I've been really wanting to read this for a while. This is just a nonfiction book about Yeonmi and how she and her mother actually escaped from North Korea and found freedom, and I think it's going to be an utterly heart-wrenching story that talks about the perseverance of human spirit. I really would like to enlighten myself more on her journey. The last prompt that I'm going to be doing for the tarot readathon, the Empress, which is read a book written by a woman, and for this I will be reading The Astonishing Color of After. So this book is about Lei Chen Sanders, who is absolutely certain about one thing. When her mother died by suicide, she turned into a bird. Lei, who is half Asian and half white, travels to Taiwan to meet her maternal grandparents for the first time. There, she is determined to find her mother, the bird. In her search, she winds up chasing after ghosts, uncovering family secrets, and forging a new relationship with her grandparent. And as she grieves, she must try to reconcile the fact that on the same day she kissed her best friend and longtime secret crush, Axel, her mother was taking her own life. Oh my gosh. So that just sounds like a very beautiful, possibly contemporary magical realism book, and I had heard a lot of great things about it on BookTube before I actually started making content, and so I'm really looking forward to reading it because I really haven't heard much of a buzz about it since. Some additional books that I would like to read in the month of July are Spin the Dawn by Elizabeth Lim, and I've heard that this is kind of like a Mulan meets Project Runway, which sounds really cool, and honestly, even if the premise didn't sound cool, the cover is just so amazing. I am really looking forward to reading it. I'm actually going to be buddy reading it with my really good friend here, Christine from the Roomies Digest. I know I talk about her in like every single video, but I actually got her this for her birthday, and so I wanted to buddy read it together because I've just had this lying around being neglected, and now I get to finally read it, so I'm really looking forward to that. I'm also going to be buddy reading A Verity by Colleen Hoover with my good friend Kirsten from Kirsten's Corner. This book is about Lowen, who's a struggling writer, when she mysteriously gets invited to complete the remaining books in a successful series his injured wife Verity is unable to finish. So the husband contacts her. So she arrives at the Crawford home, ready to sort through years of Verity's notes and outlines, but she doesn't expect to uncover an unfinished autobiography Verity never intended for anyone to read. Oh my goodness. So I've heard this is kind of like a romance, like a love triangle, and I've heard that there's like a paranormal almost element to it, so it just sounds really interesting and very spooky. This will actually be my first Colleen Hoover book. I've been so intrigued to read her other ones, but I think this would be a really good gateway book because it just sounds so interesting, and Kirsten and I are really stoked to read it. The next book that I would like to read in the month of July is Thunderhead by Neil Shusterman, and this is the sequel to the Scythe trilogy. This book series revolves around a new world where death has been eradicated, and scythes are humans that are responsible for killing others to manage population growth. However, a lot of scythes are starting to get cold and are really starting to enjoy killing innocent humans. This is just a sequel following up the first book, which is great because the first book kind of ended a little bit on a cliffhanger. So I'm really looking forward to diving into this. I remember I read the first book in January this year and I was just blown away. And so I really want to keep that momentum because it's been a while since I've gone back to this universe and I want to read it. The next book that I would like to read in the month of July is The Mermaid and Mrs. Hancock. And this is actually a book that I've been meaning to read for months because I was supposed to be reading this with my friend Diana. It was so long that I just did not feel motivated, but it's a thick one. I think there's like 477 pages. And so this is a historical fiction about this guy. He finds out that one of his trading vessels has been sold for a mermaid, and gossip starts to spread and everyone's all about this mermaid, and that's pretty much all I know about it, but it sounds intriguing. I don't know how it could take up 500 pages, but I guess we'll have to read and find out. Diana did tell me this book is a bit more slow-paced, so I'm hoping that I'll be able to actually get through this because I definitely am not as much of a slow-paced kind of reader, so we'll see how it goes. The last book that I would like to read in the month of July is Ignite Me by Taheri Mafi, and this is the third book, I believe, in the Shatter Me series, and I remember I read the first book and I was like, okay, you know, maybe not gonna read the second book, and then my friend, who I was actually buddy reading the first book with, was like, let's read the second book, and so I did. I ended up really liking it a lot more than the first book, so now I'm definitely more invested. I find the protagonist a lot more tolerable, and I'm looking forward to reading and seeing where the story goes for the third book because it's a good time. Thank you guys so much for watching my really chaotic TBR video. I will see you guys in my next video. I do want to give you guys guys a little bit of a notice that I might not be posting as much this summer. Yeah. On the plus side though, I do want to start doing more like travel slash reading vlogs, so I think that'll be really fun because I'll show you guys like snippets of my daily life and also just kind of, you know, me reading aesthetically. So we'll see. I'll talk to you guys in my next video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'd love to hear in the comments down below if you guys have read any of the books I've mentioned, and if so, like what were your thoughts. But see you guys later. Bye!